Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game Day slash Store Championships slash Planeswalker Weekend. It keeps changing its name for War of the Spark, and this is the final between Talal Munir and Hamid Mubarak. Hamid Mubarak has the Karn sleeves, and Talal is the player with the white sleeves. And he also has the previous game day mat that he's won. Talal has won 2 game days previous to this, and Hamid has been in 6 finals but has never won one. So lots of experience in low-level Magic play. And for this tournament, it's the biggest day of the Magic calendar for us every 3 months. So everyone had spent literally minutes practicing and built their decks probably seconds before playing the game day. So a lot was riding on this. Talal is on a mono red deck, and Hamid is playing the 4-color Dreadhorde deck. So Talal is going to be very aggressive. Aggro is a very prominent deck type in our meta, but Hamid has a lot of life gain in his deck, so hopefully he can do something about this. So they're taking their opening hands, and they're gonna see if they're gonna keep or mulligan. I think Talal has kept his opening hand, and Talal is playing first. Hamid mulligans his first hand, and Talal already reclines in victory. It's too soon, but this is a psychological tactic to declare victory from the first mulligan. Hamid shuffling an extremely long time, which is what he also did. If you noticed, when he took Talal's deck to cut, he shuffled as if it was in the Pro Tour. Keeps, scries to the bottom. And Talal plays a Goblin, Fanatical Firebrand. And he puts in a Steam Engine, Runaway Steamkin. And we have just playing lands and passing. Talal puts in a Lavamancer, buffing up his Steamkin, Pyromancer, 2 damage, and buffing the Steamkin further and attacking for a lot. Hamid plays a Jadelight Ranger, hopefully reducing some of the damage coming in next turn. Talal reads and improves the quality of the image on the stream, on the recording, sorry. Talal uses a Wizard's Retort and taps the Steamkin to indicate that it's gonna get its counter. Wizard's Lightning, sorry, not Retort. And then he attacks, gives it the counter. And Hamid doesn't like that. Actually, there's a disagreement on whether the Steamkin should have gotten the counter or not. Talal indicated by tapping the card, but I don't think Hamid had seen it. But at this high level of play, you can't be missing triggers. So I think they're arguing over whether it should have gotten the counter or not. They're probably gonna call a high quality, high level judge from Japan or locally, it depends what's available. So they go back, they're illustrating to the judge what has happened, but the judge hasn't witnessed this. So it's just a he said, she said over whether they forgot the trigger, but Talal had said that he input the counter on after the combat had begun, but he assumed that the counter was already there. Talal accepts that there's no counter, deals the damage. It's not looking good for Hamid. And he scoops. The argument over whether this team can get the counter or not being the defining and important factor in that matchup. Possibly this is a psychological warfare of Hamid's own to counteract the now effective reclining keep that Talal had in the previous round. Significant mulliganing here. I think the Dreadhorde deck needs to do a lot more to get itself ready for the mono red. I would imagine that Tibalt comes in for mono red, denying the life gain. That's an obvious one. Whereas there's a lot more coming up of the board, removal spells, and board wipes that the Dreadhorde deck can put in. Even if the Dreadhorde deck wins, it's going to be difficult as the third game would have the red deck that Talal is piloting on the play, and sometimes that's just enough by itself for a win. It would be impressive if Talal was able to win another game day, gaining his total to 3 game day victories, which is the highest in good game. It would be sad but impressive. Okay, game 2 about to begin. There's a Wild Growth Walker, I think, that we see in Hamid's hand. That's a critical card for this matchup. If he's able to resolve it and keep it there, have it as a big blocker that keeps gaining him 3 life, that could put him out of reach of the red deck. This time, Talal mulligans. Hamid seems to have kept. There we go. Can see if Talal can get the job done with 6. He's kept screwing to the top. No first turn play for Talal. Slow build. Steamkin again. But it's not sticking around. Pyromancer. Just a land and go. End of turn. Shock. Another Pyromancer. Have up to 5 now, 5 lands. The Wild Growth Walker comes in with the Jade Light. I like this wait with like good patience by Hamid to get double trigger guaranteed, especially since Talal wasn't able to respond. Triggers twice, should gain him a lot of life. Six life up. And 2 big creatures on the board. Tibalt, that's gonna stop the life gain. The turn after it started. And Talal not ticking down, trying to keep it on the board as long as possible. All on Tibalt. And if Talal is the deck that's sacrificing its board material to protect its walkers, it's gonna be the one that loses. Blocks the Jade Light to trade. Down to 2 loyalty on Tibalt. And just a pass from Talal. Playing a pass, but Hamid already has a Teferi in his grave. Good setup for the command of the Dreadhorde. Experimental Frenzy. Maybe this will help him dig out of the bad situation he's in. One card in hand for Talal. And he passes. I'm trying to get rid of it. The Tibalt off the board. Another chump block. No creatures remain. But there is the Experimental Frenzy. Okay, I wasn't sure what happened there. But another Pyromancer came down. Shocking Hamid. I think there's a Chandra and a Mountain. Off of the light up the stage. Plays the land. Allows him to play Chandra. And he does play Chandra. You're wondering which one of these decks is the Planeswalker deck. But this is War of the Spark, so I guess all of them are the Planeswalker deck. Passes. Now we can see what Hamid can do. Removing any blockers. This allows him to do 3, so he takes Tibalt out. Because he couldn't take Chandra with one hit, so might as well take something out. Tal's put himself in a situation where even low on cards he has at least some fuel to work with the Chandra and the Experimental Frenzy. Steamkin. Playing the Mountain off the top. As a Lava Coil. He definitely does not forget to trigger the Steamkin anymore. I think he Lava Coiled the Wildgrowth Walker. A second Steamkin. Shocking the Wildgrowth Walker. Okay, this is a frenzy for sure. It should be exiled. Yes. He will exile it. This is suddenly not looking good at all. Although the Wildgrowth Walker looked very promising, the Frenzy and the Steamkin are just going crazy. Another Steamkin. Definitely a frenzy going on. Now Chandra is activated. All of that was without even Chandra being activated. Get to Lavamancer, which is hasted. All of them get triggers. These guys are getting pretty huge. This is the second Steamkin that gets used this turn. Hamid helping out with the counters at this point. There's yet another Steamkin that can be used. I think damage is coming through now. 6 damage, I think. Negating the life gain that was earned from the Wildgrowth Walker. Thrashing Brontodon would have been perfect a bit earlier. Stop the Experimental Frenzy. But I guess better than nothing. But 2 Experimental Frenzies, I think 3 Steamkins, Chandra. I don't see how this ends in any way other than a victory for Talal. Using the Steamkin. Fanatical Goblin. Gonna use another of these Steamkins. Plays a Gittu Lavamancer, I think. Can barely see the art, but I think that's what it is. A lot of calculations. Lightning strike to the face. Wizard lightning. He's keeping the to the face, another lightning strike. Now he's keeping everything up, and that's the game. And Talal is the champ. Let's go, champ. 3-time champ. The first time in good game. He didn't even need a game 3, but he did need all those Steamkin triggers. Those were critical. Without those, he wouldn't have won. So you should definitely not be forgetting those. And he drew more cards than a blue deck. Impressive victory, and that's the end of the game.